Today's episode is brought to you by DB. DB is a Scandinavian brand that makes backpacks and bags to help people on the move stay ready for anything. From the streets to the peaks, DB's gear is travel tested by some of the world's best athletes, adventurers, and creators. Over the past decade, DB has designed and developed, released, and refined the best bags in the market. With DB's patented hookup system, you are able to attach smaller products to your backpack, roller, or tote.
It's important to have the right bag for your travels and adventures, and DB has you covered. From the Nair duffel to the strong backpack, DB ensures you always have the right gear for your journey. We are teaming up with DB to exclusively offer our listeners 10% off your next purchase by using the code POD10 or going to the link in our show notes. DB, it's time to move on. Time to get going.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 286. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rutino. This is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? It's a great day. You know why? Because finally, Dave, you have joined the PS5 party.
Oh, yeah, I did. Cheers to that, man.
Congratulations. I just want to know.
I'm a proud father.
900? Did you pay 900, 800, 2,000? How much did you pay for the PS5?
500.
All right, so you got it at market value.
Yeah, I got it at the price that it's supposed to be sold at. Not this bundle deal bull. I
got a lot of good games in my bundles. Okay, and I got Games Pass.
My bundle. I'm just saying, I don't like being forced into buying these things when you may not necessarily want them. I understand that, like, hey, you get a gift card. Obviously, you're going to use the gift card eventually. In the games,
you'll have to use my gift card.
Probably. Well, there you go. See, like they force you into this thing, so they already got your money. They expect you to possibly use it, maybe not use it. They don't care. Well, they got your money.
I got 2 gift cards, so that's pretty much more than half off the like a PS5 game.
Well, I have to give a big shout out to our friend Joe. He's the one who got me the Xbox, and he's the one who also got me the PS5. So,
all right, and you know what? And he's going to be the one to get us both a Switch OLED.
Possibly, he's got the magic touch. So, for some reason, So the way that went down is Wario64 on Twitter. Follow that dude. He's a good follow. He will let you know when all this stuff is dropping and some insider knowledge and all that. So Wario64 said Amazon Treasure Truck is going to have a PS5 on it. So he went there before he got the email, which was kind of ahead of things, went in, bought it, and that was on a Wednesday, and it came Friday morning. So with the quickness.
So now we haven't really talked about this too much. How do you like the PS5? Well, how much time have you spent with it?
I own 2 games. I own Returnal and now Guilty Gear, which I was playing last night. So I like it. I love the controller. It's great. I've seen felt some haptic feedback, which is pretty solid. The games are smooth. The system's not loud, which is good. Kind of going over the positives before I get into some of the negatives. But yeah, man. So far, I'm really digging it.
Negatives? There are no negatives.
Oh, I will get into. Gigantic. I have a gamer grief, and I'm going to get into that. I'll get into that right now. Actually, I'll get into that right now. So the setup process, and I know you had some issues with the Xbox setup process, and I get that. I thought it was pretty smooth for what it was on the Xbox. For the PlayStation one, it's very similar. You got to hook the controller up wired so that, it can do the sync or the whatever, right? You hit the button in the middle, starts the process, and then you're off and running, right? Asks for your Wi-Fi, sure, and it does all that. And then at a point, which I thought was like really smart, it was like, if you have a game, insert it now and we'll install it in the background. I said, oh, okay, that's fantastic. So when you're done with your setup, the initial setup and all and whatnot, the game will be either done or mostly done. So super smart. I don't think Xbox necessarily did that during their process. So points to Sony. Where they failed was the next step, because they're like, look, if you have a PS4, we can transfer your data over. And they're like, do you want to do this now or do you want to skip? And I said, okay, let me do it now because there's some stuff I want to.
Everybody knows you skip. You hit the skip button.
Well, wait. Let me finish my story. Finish my story here. So, yeah, like, why would I not want to transfer stuff over? I've got games that I want to play on the PS5. It can just transfer the installation over. It'll do it over Wi-Fi, right? So I'm like, okay. I assumed it was going to be done in the background. That's the thing they didn't tell you. Because the previous step will install the game in the background if you have the disc. I just assume, because it's just the Wi-Fi connection, right? Why does that have to hold up the installation or the setup process? So I had to sit there and wait for the damn stuff to transfer over. Thankfully, I didn't transfer everything, only the crucial stuff that I really wanted to try out. So I had to wait an hour, So.
Oh my God! You waited an hour. The longest hour of your life.
It was. So I'm just saying. All I'm asking from Sony is a little notification to say, hey, we'll have to wait. We're going to do all this stuff like right now, and you got to wait till it's done, right? Oh, and that's not it. So after all that was done, right? And they did tell you that the system was going to restart. So they're like, okay, we're going to restart it once it's done. I said, okay, that makes sense. So after they restart it, and you go back in, you hook the controller up again, I had to do the whole setup process again. So they failed in that part too. Why didn't they like, okay, here's where you left off. Had to do the whole thing. I had to put in my account again. I had to put my Wi-Fi password in again and get all the way back to that point. And then they asked me again, do you want to transfer anything? I said, no. And then I went through and finished it up. So
I feel like there needs to be
that's
some
a
devil's
fail.
Advocate.
That's a fail.
There needs to be some devil's advocate. Who is transferring anything from the PS4 to the PS5?
Obviously, somebody is.
All your game saves are in the cloud if you have PS Plus, which you should have. So that's easy just to download that. If you have,
but it'll do that. It'll do that for you during the transfer. You don't have to go into there and go into the cloud settings and then pull them down.
20 games.
It's convenient.
You're not going to play all 20 games at once, so that's going to take forever to download. And of course, that's not going to download in the background.
Well, you don't know that, and I didn't know that. No, that's not something you can assume. That's not something you can assume.
Oh, but you assume that it would record it, it would download in the background. You assumed the other way. Like I would assume that can't be done
because it was installing the game in the background. Because of the previous step where they said, "Hey, we'll do this for you as a convenience thing and put the game disc in now." So they prepped me for that. That's on Sony. That's on Sony in that case.
Any system you go into, it will download the game in the background. You could put a game in an Xbox or you put a game in the PS4. It doesn't matter. It downloads in the background. You can do whatever you want. Play another game.
Well, okay, but on the Xbox, and I'm going to assume on the PS5, once your setup process is done, you can go and do transfers in the background and play other stuff and do other stuff on there, watch Netflix and whatever else. You can do that normally.
Not just games, you're transferring your whole profile over.
Yeah, but the profile's not the big thing. It's the games that are the big thing. But in normal circumstances, you can do that in the background. That's at least on the Xbox. That's definitely part of the OS.
If you were transferring from the
Xbox
One, if you were transferring for the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X, it would do the same thing.
Yeah, but you can do it in the background after not including the setup process. And I did do this from the 1 to the 1X. And also from the 1X to the Series X. I did some things from the 1X to the Series X. It'll just do it in the background, and you can do other stuff with the system at the time.
I think there was
so it was just during the installation process.
I feel like there was a pop-up that you missed.
No, definitely not.
I feel like you missed.
Definitely not. Trust me, definitely not.
That said, hey,
I read everything on the screen, and they said, hey, we can do this transfer for you.
Well, at least they didn't say you had to go into your phone. What if you don't have a phone? What if you don't have the Xbox app, right? Like that was my biggest gripe. That was my only gripe with the Xbox setup, because that took like an hour or two, by the way.
What? To get the app takes 2 seconds over Wi-Fi.
I don't have
the
phone. My phone's dead. I don't have the phone. I don't have my phone on.
So plug it in. I don't understand.
I don't understand. Need to have the Xbox.
I'm sure there's a way to do it without the app.
Yeah, you have to Google it and figure it out.
I'm sure there's a way to do it.
If you don't have an app.
Look. You're probably right. They could be a little bit clearer in the Xbox One. I'm not just dogging Sony. I'm just telling you my experience was less than optimal.
I feel like that was a fail on your part. Like, no, stop.
How so?
Don't
How so?
transfer your PS4. You're not going to play all 20 games. That's
then they shouldn't give me an option. If you're saying it's dumb to do that,
then you know what?
Then it's on Sony for giving me the option to do it. Because if it's there, like, why not get it done now instead of waiting till later, right? I was trying to be proactive about it.
I agree. They shouldn't have gave you that option.
That's on them. That's on them.
That's dumb. You shouldn't transfer you shouldn't transfer all the games.
And you know, like okay, if I have to wait, I have to wait. Fine. But then to restart me at the beginning of the process, that was the real kicker. That was the real kicker.
I give you that one. I give you that. Okay. I give you that one. I give you that one.
You know.
But
otherwise,
you went through the whole process. You set up your profile. That should have been in stone right there.
I was at the last step, and the last option is, do you want to transfer stuff over?
And answer is no. The answer is no.
Well, now I know.
Now it's no. Okay.
Now I know. But otherwise, I'm loving the system.
Does it fit in your entertainment system?
Sure does.
Sure does. Huge. It is huge.
It is, and it actually has some clearance on the left and right hand side. So
does it like just fit, or does it do you have enough room?
No, I got about like an inch on each side. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I bought a very specific media console, which and I paid, and I'm not trying to flex on it. I ended up paying a lot of money for it, but it was worth it because they have some of the, obviously they have ultra wide cabinets, right, which is good. You can adjust the shelves to how you want, and they have holes in the slats for like airflow, which is awesome. You know, just kind of like small little things. They go a long way. There's cable management in there. It's a very nice thing.
So you really have 3 games because you have to download Astrobot.
I do.
And that will show you all the bells and whistles of the DualSense.
Sure.
And I know you have Returnal. I know you have Guilty Gear. I don't think Guilty Gear really takes advantage of the controller as much.
Well,
Returnal does some things, right?
Yeah. They actually, when you like crash land, immediately you feel it because there's like stuff on the ground or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's subtle, but it's there.
So you really need the Astrobot will show you all the bells and whistles.
Of course,
right? Like you will feel the sandstorm, you will feel the water in your hand. Mm-hmm. So I would suggest you definitely at least download that and get ready to play that because you're going to be amazed at what the controller can do.
I'm excited.
Developers take advantage of.
I'm excited. Yeah.
So
I mean, if I can just speak about Returnal, and I'm gonna get into what I've been playing real quick because I just want to say Returnal was awesome.
I knew you would love it.
Possibly game of the year.
Wow.
Right? It's got a very good loop.
I knew it. I knew you would love that game.
It's next-gen visuals all the way. The sound is great. I mean, it's amazing. It's sufficiently creepy. And Guilty Gear? Oh my god. It's insane. The way they do the stage intros. So first off, a giant bird flies into the screen, and then it's like you versus your opponent, right? And then the bird like spins around once it loads, and like it's like there's like a giant gimbal, and the camera's like swinging around into the stage, and the whole thing is modeled, right? It's all 3D modeled, and it's all layered, and it's insanely beautiful, and it runs silky smooth. So yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't get Spider-Man. Like, I know you.
I'm working on it. It's Returnal. It's Guilty Gear. It's Ratchet and Clank, Astrobot, which is the free download, Spider-Man, and I did recently purchase Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, which is PS5 exclusive.
I didn't know you. Well, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a gripe with Sony.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about that with the games I've been playing a little bit later on this show.
All right.
With that said, let's get this show on the road. Okay, we have an awesome show this week. Coming up, we're gonna talk about Gamescom opening night live from Jeff Keighley. Right? It was like E3. It was like a mini E3. I think we got a lot of good stuff from that. And Microsoft had their Gamescom showcase too, which we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of that in there as well. But before we start, let's begin with Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer. The trailer was actually leaked online. And then, I guess Disney just said, screw it, just release the trailer. Let everybody see it.
You gotta, right?
It was awesome. Like, I mean, we knew Doctor Strange was in it, but we didn't know Doctor Strange was going to be like a vocal point in it. Like,
yeah, he's a pivotal plot point.
Well, we know, the first Spider-Man, was it Homecoming, right? Like that was the
yes, yeah, and then Far From Home was the sequel.
Far From Home. Iron Man was like a big part of the first one. So Doctor Strange is sort of, he takes over that sort of mentor role.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah.
So Spider-Man always has in every movie he always has, and also Sam Jackson, right? Like he was in the second one. So it's always like an MCU character is like plays a pivotal role in all the Spider-Man games.
Yeah, and Iron Man's assistant, I forget his name. The Jon Favreau plays him.
Yes,
he's in there too. Yeah.
So I love this theme, right? And I think we're gonna get at least one more Spider-Man movie in sort of the MCU universe with Tom Holland.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I think he signed up for four movies. I hope it's more, but that oh my god, we saw they had to give us something in the trailer, and we saw Dr. Octopus from the original Raimi movies, Spider-Man 2, which was one of the best Spider-Man movies of all time.
Oh my god, Alfred Molina killed it in that movie. He really brought it.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's not really spoilers, it's just the trailer. So if you go online, I would suggest you go find the trailer. But I do want to talk a little bit, and we'll spend a second and talk about, do you think this is the real Doctor Strange? And I'll tell you why. This is kind of spoilery for, the second Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. So if you haven't seen it yet, fast forward maybe like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really Nick Fury, Sam Jackson's character in Far From Home. That was a Martian pretending to be Nick Fury.
Right.
So it's kind of strange, no pun intended, that Doctor Strange
that's pretty good.
would help Tom, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like sort of erase everybody's memory, because Doctor Strange is usually like by the book. He's not going to do anything outside the book, right?
Right. So if you watch the trailer, and I guess also spoilers, the end of Spider-Man 2 is that he gets revealed as Spider-Man, right? So everyone knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he hates it, and he's like, I need you to reverse the sands of time, or whatever he does. And
he's mixing up franchises. That's Prince of Persia.
Well, you know what I mean. And his I guess his I don't know, partner, confidant, one of the Eternals, Wong, was like, no, don't do that. You know, if you mess with the flow of time, it's going to be terrible and whatnot. Doctor Strange does it anyway, and you're like, that's against Doctor Strange's character, which is a compelling argument. It's a very compelling argument. And it you know, I was like, why would that not be Doctor Strange? Like, he's got to be in the movie. But you're right, it certainly could not be him.
So it'd be interesting to get it, you know, to get context for those scenes, right? Because again, it's a trailer, so we don't know. Maybe he said no like a million times, and then there was a good reason to bring, you know, that it was brought to him where he said, maybe we should. Or maybe that's not really him. I don't know. Maybe that's the catch of the movie, right? Because Doctor Strange screws up and, you know, makes the multiverse. Again, not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. So we know that's like a thing that's going to be in the MCU, the multiverse.
Yeah.
Probably how they're going to introduce Wolverine and
I mean, we keep saying that, but it still hasn't happened yet. We thought it was going to be Far From Home, but it's going to be this movie. Right. No way home. You know, the thing that's really interesting to me is why is Doctor Strange's New York City apartment, why is it all covered in ice and snow?
That's a good question too.
Right? Like what happened? And it's like, it's, as far as we know, it's the meeting of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man in New York City in this movie. For whatever reason, he goes there. So, you know, something happened. A lot of questions.
So I'm going to throw something out there, and then I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Because I haven't subscribed to Disney Plus again.
Oh, you got it.
Right? Because I do want to see Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I do want to see WandaVision. And I do want to see Loki.
Loki is the other one, yeah. Loki was great. I was a big fan.
Could Doctor Strange really be Loki in disguise? I mean, you have the ice theme. Right? Because Loki really isn't from Asgard. He's like an ice. He's part of the, I can't think of their names off the top of my head, but he's part of the ice, like the whole ice themed creatures.
Oh, right? Really?
Who was adopted by Odin.
Right. Okay.
So he's really an ice creature, which could explain why Doctor Strange's apartment is all in ice, right? He feels more at home. It's Doctor
possible.
Strange is acting weird, so I don't know. Again, we don't know when is this movie supposed to come out? Because maybe the end of Loki will explain Spider-Man, right? That could be it. We don't know.
Well,
I'm just throwing conspiracies out there.
Yeah, it's interesting you mention Loki because and this isn't really a spoiler, but it deals with the TVA. If you know what the TVA, I'm assuming it's from the comics, but it's the Time Variance Authority, and they basically control the flow of time. So that certainly would play into multiverses and all these different, you know, offshoots and kind of whatever else. So there is some stuff in Loki about that, which is kind of interesting. And even like Falcon and Winter Soldier has some stuff which also like plays into WandaVision. So they all kind of have little bits that are all coming together.
Well, fun fact, Falcon, who is now the new Captain America, has signed up to play Captain America in Captain America 4. So,
which I am all about. I'm a big fan of Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, so all about that. So, Dave, this show is the last show in August, and you know what that means. We get to talk about the notable games coming out next month in September 2021. I'm going to start with The Medium. It is no longer Xbox Series X exclusive. It is now coming out on the PS5 September 3rd. So
nice.
I'm going to assume it's going to be digital only, just like the original Medium.
Yep.
For the Xbox, which was digital only. And I'll get into a little game of grief of my own about that with Xbox a little bit later in the show.
Have you played the? I forget. Have you played the Medium yet? I know it's a scary game, so it's not.
I played a little bit of the Medium, and not a lot. I played a little bit of the Medium. Yeah, it's okay. It's not great. I don't think it's like great, and I don't understand why it's a series. I don't understand why it's a current gen exclusive. I feel like it could be played on last gen. Like I feel like it could be.
It's not like crazy next gen with the visuals. I would agree. Yeah.
So, a game I'm on the fence about. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, and that's Sonic Colors Ultimate. It's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, September 7th. It's kind of crazy. It's not coming out on Stadia, but I'll leave that one alone.
Are you surprised at this point?
Kinda. I haven't heard.
Stadia's a dumpster fire.
Stadia's a dumpster fire in the last couple of months.
Exactly.
So a game that we saw, I think we saw at E3, around E3 time, Limited Run, right? I think Limited Run sort of had the exclusive on this, and that is Blood Rain Betrayal, right? Fresh Bites. That's coming out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Right.
Also in September.
9th. I forget which studio. Some studio bought up the rights and made this kind of remake or whatever reimagining of Blood Rain.
Scrolling. Of the Blood Rain, the original Blood Rain.
Yeah. So I mean, like, completely middle of the road video game. Apparently, they made a sequel, and they also made a movie. They made a Blood Rain movie.
That movie was terrible.
By Uwe Boll. Yeah, no, he makes all the worst movies. So it has a bit of a storied past. So they decided, hey, this is a good enough concept. Let's bring it into the 21st century. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. Again, I love my side scrollers, right? The question is, we know it's coming out September 9th. And I think I could be wrong. I think Limited Run was the one that had the exclusive on this.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything from Limited Run announcing like, hey, you can buy the physical like September 9th or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see when we get the physical edition of this, because I'm going to assume that this is all digital September 9th. So moving on to a game I'm really looking forward to playing. That is Life is Strange True Colors, which is Life is Strange 3 for me. It's coming out PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia.
There you go. There's your Stadia.
There's my Stadia game.
There's your Stadia. It's coming out on everything.
Nope, not everything. The Switch version was recently announced that it was delayed into.
Well, it will be coming out for the Switch.
It will be coming out on the Switch, and this is coming out September 10th. Also, same day, September 10th, NBA 2K22 coming out for all systems except for Stadia, but Switch too. So weird. This is like NBA 2K22 is a game that should be coming out on Stadia, right? This is the perfect game that you would think would be coming out on Stadia.
Right.
But it's coming out on the Switch, but then Stadia is getting Life is Strange True Colors, and then the Switch is, the Switch version is delayed.
Right. It's so you know what though? Like, I don't think there's a lot, if any, sports games, like real sports games, not like Rocket League or whatever, which is fun in its own right, but doesn't have a real world analog.
But that's the game that I would think Stadia would be like, No,
I'm
gearing towards.
I'm with you. I was just making a point that there's no Madden, there's no NBA. I don't think there's any wrestling game streaming on Stadia. Yeah, they're missing out on the market.
I don't think you could I don't think Stadia is meant for the competitive market, right? So if you're going to play these games competitively, that's probably not going to work. But I would believe, like, if you're just playing by yourself or with a friend or, against a computer, you can play like NBA 2K games or Madden or WWE 2K or any of those games. Like, I think sports games would be like, the perfect platform for Stadia. Well, the perfect genres for like Stadia, right? Again, you're not going to play a first-person shooter on Stadia and think you're going to play competitively.
Well,
play for fun. Yeah, I can see that.
They want you to. Then they want it to be that, but it's not there.
Not happen. No, it's nowhere near.
No.
There. Yeah. But Dave, now that you have a PS5, you can buy Deathloop.
Hell yeah,
coming out September 14th. Right, it's a console exclusive. I think it's a year exclusivity, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, and then it'll be coming to Xbox.
Yeah, well, since it's now an Xbox first party.
That's right. It's pulling a medium, right?
Pulling a medium.
Xbox had the console exclusivity, and then they're flipping it a year later.
Yeah, but Deathloop is a first party game. That's the difference.
It is now. Yeah. Because of the acquisition. Yeah.
But I know Dave is probably not. He's excited that he can play it, but that's not the most exciting game that
here we go.
For
here we
next
go.
Month. Like he is through the roof. September 16th. Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Linux. Dave gets to play his favorite game, probably going to be nominated for Game of the Year.
Oh.
Skatebird.
Oh. Love me some Skatebird. Perfectly mediocre skating game that has no benefit of you playing as a bird from the last time I played it. It was just an aesthetic, and it didn't even do it that well. I'm sorry. It's just completely average. I'm good.
Can I play as an emu on a skateboard? No.
Emu? An emu isn't a bird.
It's a bird, just like an ostrich is a bird.
Maybe? I don't know. I mean, you definitely can't play as an emu. They're very tiny birds.
Can I play as a penguin? Because they're a bird too. Can I play as a penguin?
Penguin?
Can I play as a penguin? Come on.
All right, an emu is a bird. Wow. Okay, you're right.
It's a bird.
You're right.
Of course, it's a bird.
No, it's all like tiny birds. It's a little like bluebirds and goldfinches and robins and all that. So it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute.
They should have called it Skate Tiny Birds.
Skate Tiny Birds. Yeah.
That's what they called it. They should have called it.
All
right, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be PlayStation exclusive, coming out September 21st. Kenya Bridge of Spirits.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was delayed out of August.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can play that, but I know that's not what you're going to play, Dave. I know you're not going to play that. You know what? I know what Dave is waiting for. He got the PS5 exclusively, so he can play Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Oh yeah. Is that only PS5? Is that only PS5?
I think the Director's Cut is only PS5.
Wow, that's weird. Why would they do that? It runs perfectly well on a PS4 Pro. It runs pretty good on an original PS4. Yeah, I feel like it's going to come out for last gen too. I hope so, at least. I hope so. Yeah, man. I mean,
you have a PS5 now. You can play.
Oh no, I'm gonna get the PS5 version for sure.
I know you're gonna get the PS5 version.
Yeah. It's just more
the definitive way.
It's just more stuff.
Okay, and they had another exclusive trailer at opening night live with Jeff Keighley, because they had to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Jeff Keighley and he loves Kojima.
Oh yeah,
and I called it. I told you you're going to have Metal Gear style stages, extra stages, and they do.
Okay, well there you go.
That was on point. Where you definitely have to sort of sneak around and not be seen.
Yeah. Okay.
Alert the whole base, and then the mission's over.
Okay. I thought it was just kind of a strike at Konami, right? And it's like, look at what you missed out on. But okay, I mean, I'm
actually in the game.
I'm excited. I think that's going to be
the box
cool.
with the oranges is actually in the game.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
And lastly, also, PS5, Lost Judgment, right? That is the sequel to Judgment. PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One coming out September 24th.
Nice.
So I'll be honest, I haven't played Judgment, the original. It's interesting. It's on the list. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, so our backlogs are big.
Well, Judgment did come out last gen, so we do sort of count it as retro. So maybe I'll do it for the Saturday morning retro show.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anything that's not current gen is in our eyes considered retro.
Consider it retro. So Dave, it's that part of the show I know you love.
I do.
The part of the show that we always try to start the show with, but epically fail. What have you been playing? And I know you've been playing Returnal.
That's right. And Guilty Gear. And I love it. I've also been playing Loop Hero.
Loop Hero. What is that? What game?
If you remember from E3 or the most recent Nintendo Indie Direct, Loop Hero it's a game where you how do I explain it? So you get a randomized map, right? And it's a path. And your dude starts walking around the path. And along the path is enemies which you'll automatically fight, right? So you don't actually control your hero, but you control the game world. So you'll start off with like little slimes at level 1. You beat them. Sometimes you get treasure, and you can equip your hero with different items and weapons. And there's different classes that you can choose, which is also kind of cool, but you unlock those later. And then sometimes you'll get pieces of the game world. So you can modify or build the game world out. You get like mountains, right? So mountains will go on the countryside and give you like hit points. And there's like rocks and grass, and they give you like, ability points or magic points or whatever it is. And then you keep adding new tiles to the road and modifiers. So you keep adding like new enemies, stronger enemies. You can delete certain things with certain tiles, right? And you just keep going and going and going and going until you tap out or die, right? So like it's kind of a risk reward thing, right? If you tap out, you get like a certain percentage of what you acquired during the game, right? And you get all these resources, right? And then you build your base camp, right? So there's like a base camp where like you're trying to bring people and rebuild the world. And when you build the base camp out, you get like different abilities unlock. You get different cards to use on the gameplay field. You get different classes to play as. Oh my God. Yeah, it's really unique. I don't know if I'm explaining it the best, but it's really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Well, you've been playing it on the PC. Okay.
I don't think the physical Switch version is out just yet, but it's great on the PC. It'll be great on the Switch. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay.
So how about you, Dan?
Well, I got a bone to pick with Microsoft.
Dan's got a gamer grief. Well, here you go.
I got several gamer griefs. That's the case, with both Microsoft and Sony. Okay. I went into GameStop and said, let me get Psychonauts 2. The lady had no idea. I guess this is a GameStop gamer grief too, because she had no idea what I was talking about. How do you work at GameStop and not know what Psychonauts 2 is?
You got another product. Yeah.
You got another product. Like, I went to Target, Best Buy, GameStop, before I figured out that there was no physical release for this first-party game. That's insane. That's crazy. Shame on you, Microsoft. Why couldn't this be a physical edition out, right? Like, come on, really?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Microsoft acquired Double Fine, right, a couple of years ago, by the way, and they gave them all the resources to put this game out, why not also do a physical, right? I could see if it was like just Double Fine being an independent studio, because they've really not done physical releases unless they've paired up with like a limited run for things like Broken Age and some other games. So, yeah, man, I'm with you.
But
I'm with you.
The game is fantastic.
Oh, you like it? That's good.
I love it.
I haven't played it yet.
I'm not gonna lie. Now, I played a little bit of the first one, and I played a little bit of the VR one that came out for the PSVR.
The Rhombus of Ruin.
Yeah. I'm really, this is the best one. I'm sorry. This game is great. I know it was delayed, and the delayed, I don't know what they did during the delay, but it is awesome. I would nominate this right now for Game of the Year. I would fit it into my half Game of the Year. This game is great. I can't stop playing it. Right?
Well, you ended up playing it on Games Pass, right?
Yes. Okay. I honestly thought my Games Pass subscription, my 3-month free Game Pass, was up, and it is up. But apparently I have Games Pass until like July of next year.
Because they converted your Xbox Live Gold. Yeah.
So I said, since that's the case, I'll play it, and I can't stop playing it. I love this game.
Nice.
I did pick up Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut. And you know what? The good thing that they did with Ghost of Tsushima, right, is I hate the fact, and this was my gamer grief. This is everybody's gamer grief for PlayStation, trying to get the saves over for, sort of the new versions of the game, right?
Oh, I haven't experienced that yet, but I hear,
you will. You have Final Fantasy VII Integrate? Good luck trying to get your save over.
Oh, yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, I don't know why.
Stupid. It is so stupid. But Ghost of Tsushima does it the way it should be done. You have it on PlayStation Plus. You have your save. You download it. You pop the game in, and it automatically recognizes the save and says, do you want to continue?
Yep, that's how every single game should be.
And that's it.
Yes. Yeah, there's no bones about it. Just make it easy.
So, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm getting my butt kicked because I forgot how to play. I don't forgot how to do the stance. I don't want to have to replay the game over again. But this game, the island, right? It's awesome. This is the definitive way to play it, right? Because it looks great.
Oh, yeah. It's got a bunch of enhancements in there.
Yeah. So I've been playing that. I'm looking forward to actually picking up Death Stranding and actually giving that game. See, I played, I want to say 3-4 hours of Death Stranding, and then I sort of tapped out. But I think I'll play it and beat it when the PS5 and the Director's Cut comes out.
You gotta, man. You gotta. It's such a good story. It's bananas.
On that note, why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's just jump into Gamescom opening night live. It was like a mini E3. Right? Like we got, I'm sort of now expecting this from like Jeff Keighley on all his like opening night live shows. It's like the three major things we look forward to every year is E3, the Game Awards, and now Jeff Keighley's sort of, Gamescom coverage, right? Gamescom show. So I expect sort of like a mini, this is sort of not a big major thing. We're not going to get super crazy announcements, but we're going to get at least one major thing and a lot of, sort of medium tier announcements.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of Xbox showcase too, because they had a showcase before opening night live, which is kind of funny. We got a lot of Xbox news, specifically Halo, right? To front load the show. We finally got a release date for Halo Infinite, and it's coming out December 8th.
So they missed the November 15th mark. That's sad.
Not only did they miss the actual, 20th anniversary of the original game, right?
Yeah.
The release date.
Yeah.
But if Halo is actually if Halo Infinite is amazing, it won't be able to be nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It misses that mark too.
Yeah, that's true. It'll have to be 2022. But I don't think that's on the forefront of 343 Studios' mind. I think they want to put a good product out first and foremost. The icing on the cake would be the Game Award nominations, for sure.
Well, I'm looking forward. I mean, listen, we don't get a lot of big games in December historically. I mean, we got Smash Brothers.
Yep.
And then I know now Halo Infinite, and there was another Nintendo game that came out a couple of years ago that came out in December as well that people loved. I forgot
May have been a Pokemon game or Donkey Kong, maybe.
No. It was an RPG. It's RPG. I gave it my best shot. I totally forgot.
Oh, Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, probably 2.
Xenoblade 2. Came out, also in December. So that sort of missed that awards. How do you like December releases, by the way?
I like them just fine. Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing, right? Because we get, all right, I'm gonna be a little bit selfish right now. So during Christmas 1, which I know you love that moniker, during the OG Christmas season, right? Which to me, for like video game releases and all that, starts like in late September. Right, you get all the heavy hitters, the AAA games. They're all banking on people buying them for their kids for Christmas. Right, they do a big blitz of kind of advertising. Is like, you got to buy this game; it's the greatest game or whatever. And we get a ton of games. So I ain't hurting in September. I ain't hurting in October. I ain't hurting in November. Right, and I'm definitely not hurting by December. So the fact that they're parsing things out a little bit, and we get like a late year release for Halo, that'll give me time to beat the other games and then go, okay, now what's next? Oh, Halo's coming up. great. I got nothing on my docket right now. Halo is going to be the game because it's going to be huge. You know, according to all reports, single player is going to be amazing. And apparently the multiplayer is getting good reviews so far, or good previews, I guess.
And now the summer is getting good games, right? We got The Witcher that came out like in June,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you get Psychonauts 2.
That's
most
right.
recent example that came out.
Guilty Gear, big game.
Guilty Gear.
All right.
Yeah. So, but Halo Infinite coming out December 8th. Looking forward to it. They also announced Halo Infinite Xbox Elite Wireless Controller 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's coming out, and it's sort of in the vein of the original, original Halo. That looks good. It's going to be about $200, even though the original that's not Halo themed is on sale right now for like $170, I believe, $173,
right.
something along that lines.
You're paying for the theming on there, but $30 isn't too bad considering it is an Elite controller. So, that's
Elite
cool.
Controller 2, the second version.
Yeah.
And then we got our first official limited edition current gen console. It's going to be a Halo Infinite limited edition. It's coming out November 15th to coincide with the 20th anniversary of Halo.
And it's already sold out.
So don't even try to buy it. It looks pretty cool. I don't think it's the greatest design, but it definitely looks cool for what they could do with it. I like the controller better. You could probably get the controller separate.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that looks pretty cool, and just don't try to buy it because you won't be able to. You can pay $1 gazillion for it, then you'll be able to get it.
I know.
And then they also announced Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to consoles, right? And it'll let Xbox One players play Series X games through the power of cloud gaming. So if you have, for whatever reason, still have the beta machine Xbox One, the original launch machine, you would be able. Well, it looks like a beta machine. What are the top two VCR looking consoles of all time? The NES and the original Xbox One.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
So you'd be able to play Series X games like The Medium, Psychonauts 2, right? Flight Simulator, right? You'd be able to stream that instead of actually playing it natively off of the Xbox One because it pretty much can't run it.
Yeah, so this is huge. We've had this on PC for a little bit now, and this is the Stadia killer. Because nobody's saying that the Xbox Cloud Gaming service is bad. Nobody's saying that there's lag, that there's a lack of games. I don't want to say it's flawless, but it is a much better experience than any other streaming video game service. And that includes, kind of playing it on the go, playing it on the PC, and now, being able to play it on the Series X. That's huge. So as long as you have a decent internet connection, right, you should be good to go.
All right, let's shift gears into Sony. It is official. Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed until February 18th, 2022.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Almost 5 years to the date of the original game.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think it came out like maybe a week later.
Out in February.
Yeah. Right before Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. So, yeah, I mean, well, go ahead.
Well, I want to be excited for this game, right? Because it's a first-party game, and Horizon was like the big new franchise that came out last generation, but I just can't get into Horizon. The story,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
The story, I'm intrigued by the story. I guess it's more, again, it's an RPG. It's more of an RPG. And I'm not the biggest RPG fan, even though the story is interesting. Just the play mechanics and how everything's set up just doesn't excite me.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about it either. I don't know why. I mean, it looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Even on like the original PS4, like it looks really nice. But yeah, I'm probably gonna wait till this comes in the discount bin. So I'm with you.
I'm gonna get it when it first comes out. I'm gonna give it the old college try again.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it the college try. I'm gonna get caught up with the story because I have no idea how it ends.
Well, yeah, you're gonna need to like watch some YouTube videos to see how the first one ends.
Yeah, but if you do own the first one, and you have a PS5. They did patch the original Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
It's 60 frames per second, right? on the PS5, so it plays buttery smooth. You get all those upgrades, and I think it's for free.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Do that. Speaking of things that only came out on PlayStation, right? Like the Persona 5 series was a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Yep.
Morgana was sort of like the face, or it was her and Joker that were like the two, main characters and the faces of the Persona 5 series. Well, Persona 5 games, I should say. Morgana is now coming to Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania.
Interesting. They are just putting like all of their characters in this game. Sonic, Tails, Beat
Sonic,
from Jet Set Radio, right?
Well, if you don't know, you've been under a box for like 20 years, or you're new to gaming, you may say, "Hey, why is Morgana? Why is that a big deal? Why is that made more of a big deal?" Right? And it's because Persona is from Atlas, and Atlas is owned by Sega, so this is sort of still in-house, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is all in-house. This is all Sega properties.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you want to do that? And there's a ton more they could put in there too. Like they've only like scratched the surface, and maybe they will. Maybe they'll add some more come for like DLC and whatever else you can play as different characters.
Why hasn't Sega come out with the Smash Brothers style game? Right? They have the IPs that they could do like a Smash Brothers style game. Sure.
Right?
I mean, if listen, PlayStation All Stars was Sony's take on that, and it wasn't bad by any means. It just wasn't as good as Smash Brothers. Sega can have more characters, exclusive characters in their sort of Sega All Stars, right? You can call it, right?
And they have done crossovers before. They did Sega Superstar Tennis, and
the Sega, the
a couple
Sonic
other games too. Some of the racing games, I think. Right, All Star Racing, yeah. So they've definitely done that before. Yeah, the only thing that's a wrinkle is that Sonic is already in Smash Brothers,
and so is Joker.
Yeah, so you may have some issues with that.
Well, I don't think you have any issues with that. I don't think there's any exclusivity where they can't be in any other fighting game.
I don't know.
They could probably still be.
I don't know.
And Sega's version of Smash Brothers.
I mean, even if that is the case, you still have a hell of a ton of other characters. Tails and Knuckles and, all the other Persona characters. So you could definitely get around that if it was even an issue. But
yeah. Then we got announced a new Marvel game. There were actually 2 Marvel games announced, but I'm not going to talk about the mobile game.
No, not a fan.
We're not going to talk about the mobile game. They did announce Marvel Midnight Suns, which is a new strategy game made by the XCOM developers.
Right? For Axis, yeah.
It's actually taking a more darker turn, right, than sort of the movies or the comics. It's actually taken from a comic, I think, from the mid-90s, where it sort of, explores, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, sort of the mythical realm style, right? But you will still have Iron Man, Wolverine, Captain America, and you play as a brand new character they made up for the game. And this game, I would give it a try. Listen, I loved Mario Rabbids, right? I'm not much of a turn-based strategy game type person, but if you put the great skin and good mechanics, I'll try it, and I loved it. Didn't love Gears Tactics so much because I thought that was mostly like a PC game ported to console instead of made directly for console, so it was a little convoluted of how to use, like the mechanics, the system, right? So I'm curious to see how they would make this game work.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you excited for it? I mean, I love the skin.
Yeah.
I love the story that they'll tell.
Yeah.
I just they have to. Is this being made again? My issue is it being made for console or is it being ported to console? Right?
Yeah.
Like, will it be easy to use with a controller?
Well, that's just a UI issue, right, or a UX issue. UX, I guess. Oh, it's both UI and UX, right? It's the experience and it's the interface, right? You got to tailor it to fit the medium, right? So if it's console, right, you're not going to be like 3 feet away from the screen. You're going to be 10 feet away. You're not going to have a mouse and keyboard. You're going to have a controller, right? So you gotta modify things accordingly. I'm more excited that it's coming from Firaxis, because I love the XCOM series, like the new XCOM, I like the old XCOM series too. But the remake of it, the kind of reimagining of XCOM, the last 2 games were amazing. So I think it's going to have deep strategy, and then you have the Marvel, the Marvel theming is the icing on the cake there. So I think it's going to be good. Yeah.
Well, a game I'm looking forward to that was announced is King of Fighters 15, coming out February 17th.
Damn.
PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, PC via Steam or Epic Games Store. So
it's been a while since we've had King of Fighters.
That's true. We haven't
14 was in 2016. And then I think 13 was a bunch of years before that. Interesting. And I think either 13 or 14 is when they moved to 3D, which was, I think it split the fan base a little bit. certainly
3D was all the rage.
3D and 3D in the visual style, right?
Okay.
It still played on the 2D plane, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah. Well,
I'm a big King of Fighters fan. Like King of Fighters, Guilty Gear are totally different style games that you have to play than like Street Fighter, right? You have those Street Fighter style games that sort of play similar. These are totally different, and you play them differently. And I sort of enjoyed that. I love more so King of Fighters than I did the Guilty Gear series. But I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Another game I'm looking forward to is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I mean, Turtles in Time or Turtles 4, Turtles in Time was, my top 5 games of all time, right? If not top 3. I love that game. So good. It's now coming out. It's no longer coming out in 2021. It's coming out at some point in 2022. But they did announce, which I had to think about this. I was kind of shocked. This is the first Ninja Turtles game where April O'Neil will be a playable character. She will have her microphone in hand, even though she's really using her fist. And for her sort of swirl move, she'll have the camera where she's hitting you with the camera, which kind of makes sense.
Right, because she's a TV reporter, yeah.
Because she's a TV reporter, but it's kind of weird. This isn't like a brand new Turtle game that we've had in like 20 years. We've had other Turtle games in the 2000s, late 2000s and 2010s. It's weird to think that this is the first time that she's been a playable character in any style of role, right? Like, I mean, this is a beat 'em up, so I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Yeah. I'm glad they put her in. I mean, this is I think it's fair to note. It's important to note that the people making the Turtles Shredder's Revenge game is .emu, who made the fantastic Streets of Rage 4 and the most recent DLC. So game is in good hands. Definitely looking forward to be able to play as April. It's a long time coming.
So it was delayed until 2022. I can't wait to play in 2023 when I actually get my limited run edition, physical edition. You know that's how that works.
Yep.
We still haven't played Bloodstained 2, and that came out last summer.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least I pre-ordered it, and we still haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon 2. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Lastly, from Opening Night Live, we got to see Saints Row Reboot.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out February 25th, 2022 for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. I'm looking forward to it, kind of, because it looks more like, it's going to be brand new characters. Not going to use any of the characters from other Saints Row games, but I think they're going more for the GTA Online feel, right? Team-based missions and stuff, unlike the single player, right? I didn't play Saints Row 1 or 2. I did play the third one on the Switch, and I sort of enjoyed, the single player missions on that one. But I think they're going for everybody wants to recreate GTA Online, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's still top earning games for 2K.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So yeah, curious to see. I wish we saw a little bit more gameplay. It was really just all cinematics, a little bit of gameplay at the end. But
I think we're gonna get. I think it's safe to say if it really is coming out, if it's slated for February 25th release and it's no delays, I think we're gonna get exclusive gameplay at Game Awards. Right?
Yeah.
That's in November.
Yeah, that sounds about
December.
right.
December.
Early December. Yeah.
So that makes
Interesting.
sense. So Dave, that's it. That's all we have for the news. I don't even have to ask you what are you going to do this weekend because I already know you're going to be diving deep into Returnal and probably a little bit of Astrobot. Am I correct?
You are 100% correct. I did want to mention. I did want to mention one thing, unrelated to the games I'm playing this weekend, but I don't know if you saw the advertisements for Call of Duty Vanguard, because they have an open beta now. You can play the open beta and all that. And it's very curious that Activision's logo, right, their branding, not to be seen.
Oh, that's
not to be seen.
That's not curious. We know why. We know that all the controversy over Activision lawsuit and the mistreatment of workers.
Yeah, but they've vehemently denied it, and they're like, if you're saying your company doesn't necessarily have issues, or your company is always trying to improve and whatever else and this and that, okay, great, but you gotta, if you trust in your company, put your logo on.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I understand why they take the logo off, because they want to take away from the controversy. Call of Duty every year is a big seller, a bigger earner for them.
Well, exactly.
And even, again, even if everything that the lawsuit or things that employees say, even if that was a lot of BS and it wasn't true, which where there's smoke, there is some fire. I mean, there's a fire, but there's a ton of fire. There's definitely a fire.
There's a ton of fire. Smokey the Bear is nervous.
There is some truth to it. You want to take away from that. You don't want that, obviously, from a business standpoint. You don't want that to affect sales. Even though I think if they did put Activision's logo on it, I don't think it would. To be honest.
Well, they obviously think it does.
We discussed. Well, I think they don't want to take a chance.
All right.
They don't want to take a chance by having that name on there, because they don't know how. Again, that audience, for that hardcore Call of Duty audience, is more casual, I would say, than hardcore. Right? Like, I know, coworkers. Not even, I don't even want to say friends, coworkers.
There's a large casual that just play that game. Yeah.
That's all I want to play. I can't wait for the Call of Duty game to come out. I can't wait for the Madden game to come out. I can't wait for the NBA 2K game to come out, right? Because that's pretty much all they play.
Yeah.
And did the news of, the mistreatment of workers and the lawsuit, did the news reach that casual audience that would, affect sales?
Yeah.
They don't know that for sure, and to be safe, they take the logo off of it. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying I understand.
Well, I mean, it's a business move. I'm not commenting on the business move. I'm just saying it's kind of an admittal that, well, our company's not looking too good right now. We need to distance ourselves from the games that we're putting out. But yeah, I don't know. I just found it kind of curious, is all. But
I just want to finish Psychonauts 2. I'm probably not going to finish it this weekend. I don't know how long this game is. I think they said it's about 16 hours. If it is, then
that's fantastic.
I'm like 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. So I still got another 10 hours of play, which is still remarkable because I think I did a lot already.
Right.
And then try to get into Ghost of Tsushima. I want to get back into that.
Yeah, it's gonna dip my toes. You gotta go in. You gotta jump in that deep end.
I gotta go in, and I don't think you can leave the island once you get there. So
really?
I think that's true. I think I heard somebody say that on YouTube. I don't know. This is like playground stuff, right? You can't leave the island once you go there. Did you know? And when you get there, Master Chief is going to be there waiting for you. So I don't want to take any chances. I want to sort of learn how to fight again. So because they're not easy, okay? Because basically there's a shaman, right? They go spiritual. There's a shaman that turns all the Mongols like even more powerful, right? Even the regular Mongols.
Okay.
So you got to really like go after them, and then go after the regular Mongols. So I got to learn all the different stance and the different moves, and learn not to shoot my arrows when I don't want to shoot arrows.
You're making me want to play this game again. I haven't beaten the original campaign yet. So
come on, what are you waiting for? Beat it.
I'm sorry. I have a bunch of games in my backlog.
As a matter of fact, don't even beat it yet. Get the director's cut, and then transfer your save, which is easy.
Oh, and play it on PS5, of course. Yeah.
And then play it on PS5. When you pop in, as a matter of fact, I say next week at least, pop in the Yuffie, pop in Integrate, right? And just play. You don't try to transfer the save because it's not going to work. Just play the Yuffie DLC. Play the Yuffie DLC. It'll take you about 5 hours. You'll beat it in a day.
Yeah. It's supposed to be coming today, I think, so we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, folks, that's episode 286 in the books. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.